Hello, everyone. This is Scooby.
And that means I'm Steven, and you're here for another episode of The Feedback, where Scoobs and I get together and bring a new song to each other typically, and that also means a new song for you most likely, unless, you're picking out which song you like the most, so you kind of see what we're about first, and I understand that for sure. And we're here to talk about that song together, what it makes us feel, maybe why we brought it to the table in the first place, and then anything else we kind of get lost on the way because we're definitely known for going on some tangents. Scoobs, you brought the song today, and before I pass it back to you, I wanted to let everybody know that I only brought 2 drinks today. That's because I'm completely out of my special beverages, which were like the alcohol ones. And I got some grape soda and some high quality H2O. So why don't you let us know what you're drinking and what we're singing to today?
Well, I have a Gatorade Zero Orange, which holds the distinct honor of being both the name of the color and the flavor of the Gatorade. Uh,
It's the one time you can just say orange and you don't have to say, what do you mean? Which one?
yeah, part of me wants to look up the etymology of the word orange and be like, maybe carrots would have been called orange. But who knows, man? And then beyond the Gatorade, I also have some high quality H2O. And now, in terms of our song for today, this is a dilemma that I've brought to you before, Stephen, where I couldn't decide between two songs. Now, the last two songs that you decided between were Vapid in Vegas, and the other was Streetlight Manifestos. Would you be impressed? You went with Vapin' in Vegas first, and we're going to do the same thing this week where I will present two songs, give you a little tidbit about each, and then you can choose which one we're going to go with today, and then next presentation for me, I will bring the other one.
Nice. I really enjoy this. You can't decide between two, and then it's a choose your own adventure book. It's a good time.
Yeah, choose your fate. So, here are the little nuggets I'm going to feed you. One of these is a cover of a very popular song that came out in 2016. And that's all I'll say.
Okay.
And the other is just a song that I really like that I think you'll really like. That's all.
Hmm.
Female vocalist, not Paramore, not Haley Williams.
But I don't want it. Trying to decide between cover. Is it? So did you say it's a cover of a? It was a really popular song in 2016.
Yes.
Hmm.
Now you're trying to think what was really popular in 2016.
I am. I'm trying to think like what could have been top of mind 9 years ago. You know what? I'm gonna let that one kind of build, and we'll see what it is next week. I'm
All
gonna go with the
right.
song that you think is gonna be fun.
Okay, so this is by a band called Tajanae. That is how it's pronounced. It is spelled Tajanae. The song is called Palm Reader. And genre wise, I'm going to say it is kind of math rock pop. It's got that sort of very tippy tappy guitar, but in a lot of pop sensibility, is, I think, the best way to put it. This came out in 2020. It was off of the Half Moon EP. And this is the only bit of music that they've released. It's 4 tracks. And I have heard tell that another EP is supposed to be in the works, but it has not yet seen the light of day. And it's been 5 years. I don't know if it is still going to happen. I don't want to throw shade at anyone, but in terms of the band members, Ben Rossett is part of this band. He's a very talented musician, but he has been in many, many projects that release like one EP and then just disappear forever. So I'm hoping that is not the case with this. I'm hoping that they release something new, but like I said, it's been 5 years. I don't know.
So now is that because they're in other projects or they're in like another main band, perhaps? 'Cause I mean,
So Ben Rossett has been in several different groups. This is one of them. He is in Strawberry Girls, which are they're still an active band. They're in that swancore kind of field. He was in a group called Eternity Forever with Kurt Travis, who of course was in Dance Gavin Dance for a time. currently in Gold Necklace and Royal Coda and A Lot Like Birds. They're part of those groups of musicians that kind of work together on different projects and then will work with a different person on a different project, but they'll make it a whole completely different band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do think that's part of it. And Ben Rossett also has a bunch of solo work as well. Like I said, he's a talented musician, and it's just one of these things that I've noticed that he has done a lot of projects that seem like they were one and done.
Gotcha. And was that just like, I don't know how much you know about them, and maybe this is beyond your knowledge, which is just a fun little thing to think about too. Is that because of the sound? You kind of was like, oh, I have this really good idea for X amount of songs, but it doesn't really fit in with anything else. Or I have this idea for X amount of songs, and I think it would be really good to play it with this person, this person, and this person.
That's entirely possible too, because there are a lot of songs that I've heard by him where I can recognize his style, which is good. You know, it's that sort of distinctive thing where he has a style that I'm like, that's Ben Rossett. It's the same thing where, like, I can hear Will Swan playing guitar and be like, yeah, that's Will Swan. I know, I could just tell. So
kind of like how we talked about last week when we said you kind of just know it's a Vampire Weekend song when you just hear it.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's entirely possible that it's just I wanted to work with you, and you for this project because I think that's going to be the perfect mix for what I want to put out for this band.
Yeah, that makes sense, especially because, like, nuances between different genres, you know, some people can really harness that power or that skill set specifically for, like, that one sound, or even they have a certain skill that you heard and you thought of them and you're like, hey, I want to make a song and I want some parts to sound like this thing that you did back here over when you did this. Can you help me out with it, kind of a thing? And that kind of makes sense too.
Yeah.
I guess it would matter mostly to see, like, the differences on genre on each one of these projects to kind of say, like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes more sense. Oh, okay, I see why now. Because, like, you said math rock pop, and then you also were talking about some swancore people and some other heavier rock people too. So that kind of makes sense. If you want to make a couple songs because you really appreciate a certain genre, and you're like, oh, it would sound really fun to do something like this. Or I heard this song and it made me think of playing this, and just kind of expanding on that. Like you said, like a concept band before, to kind of see, like, do I even want to go this route, or do I just really enjoy playing it a little bit right now? Because that could be a thing too, right?
Yeah. And, I mean, thinking further on what you said about a specific sound for a specific project, despite having that distinctive style, yeah, this is more pop just in general. Whereas Eternity Forever, which he did with Kurt Travis, like, Kurt Travis kind of has that pretty boy soul thing going on. Mm-hmm. So that was a little more in that vein, not to be that guy and do the comparison to Johnny Craig with Kurt Travis, but they do have a similar vocal style. So there's a bit more of like a hip hop and soul influence in their vocal styles as compared to the vocalist in this project, whose name is Haley Woodward. So
I was gonna say, you said it wasn't Haley Williams.
It's not Haley Williams. It's Haley Woodward. Okay, it's close.
You got really close to saying it anyway. You know that?
I did. I didn't even think about that.
You shouldn't have said anything. You should have been like, and the singer's name is a surprise. Like, oh,
I know who that is.
And then you would have gotten so close. I'm like, you son of a bitch. I would shake my fist at the monitor.
And then to round out the rest of the band are Taylor Neal and Ryan Camastral on drums and bass. I'm not sure which is which. I couldn't find who was on which instrument, but one of them plays one and one of them plays the other. So,
all right then.
Credit where credit is due. And I think we can jump in unless you have any more thoughts or any more questions that maybe I can answer.
I don't think so. I think I asked what came to mind right away when it came to my mind, because I definitely wasn't taking any notes. So maybe if it comes back to me later, I'll bring it up then. But for now, we're good.
Well, in that case, we can jump right into Palm Reader by Tajanae.
I know I can't read minds, but I try to. I've been practicing every day. You could say it's a little alarming, but I don't feel the same. But lying lines on your palms tried to tell me, but now they are reading the same. Everyone sees the difference. So then I fell asleep with the lights on. I've been waiting here night and day, and you told me you'd be here by morning, but I don't feel the same. Now it's something like 3 in the morning, and I swear that I'm trying my best, but my tone makes it sound like I'm lying, and I don't know what's left. I don't know what's left. I gave you all I had, all I had. So I dialed your number by memory, but you never answer your phone, and I'm so damn tired of calling. So let's just let this go. On and off, here and there, we're in passing, and I know that we'll never align. Is it rude if I say that it's karma? But I can see the signs. Hey! In a mood that I should, I feel used. Attitude, devil's food, my voodoo. Brothers issues, I'll continue. But this is all I've got. So we're finally having a breakdown. I was always waiting for. I know you think it's cute when I'm angry, but I need so much more. I need so much more. I gave you all I had, all I I gave you all I had. Were you giving me all you had, all you had? Were you giving me all you had, all you had? Were you giving me all you had, all you had?
So that was Palm Reader by Tajanae. I'm going to give you a second to go over your notes and get your thoughts together, and just say that we've done this enough that you know that one of the things that I tend to do when I listen to music is compare it to other artists or bands and be like, it kind of reminded me of this or that. When we listened to Lola Young, I'm like, wow, she really reminded me of Amy Winehouse. This is, at least so far in my experience, so uniquely itself that I have trouble finding anything to compare it to, except for perhaps other Ben Rossett projects where I'm like, it kind of sounds like Eternity Forever. Does that count because it's Ben Rossett and I can imagine him, not imagine, I hear him doing that in another project just with a different singer, with Kurt Travis, and I'm like, of course that's going to sound a little bit similar.
Right, I would agree with that.
I can't think of another project that sounds like this, and that's part of why I like it so much, is that it feels so uniquely itself, and that is something that is getting increasingly hard to find in music when you kind of feel like everything's been done. I would also like to say that it's one of those songs that it's not a long song. It's just over 3 minutes, but man, it is a fast 3 minutes. And it is also, to me, a song that leaves me wanting more. To either want to go back and listen to it again, which this song has been on heavy rotation for me ever since I discovered it, and also just like the rest of the EP is equally as good. This is just the song that I happen to enjoy the most. The biggest problem I have with the EP is that it's only 4 songs, and one of them is just kind of an ambient intro type track. So there's really only 3 solid tracks to dig your teeth into, and they're all really good. Which is why I'm hoping that they do release another EP or an LP.
I was gonna say, I gotta tell you, knowing that there's only actually 3 solid songs and one's more of like an interlude is kind of upsetting, because like that means there's only 2 more for me to hear by them, and I really hope that they're as good and leaving me satisfied until I also join the bandwagon of when the hell are you putting out something new?
Right? Yeah.
Please continue this project.
So, like I said, when I presented the 2 choices to you, I was like, "There's just a song. It's a song that I think you're really gonna like," and I was correct.
Absolutely wrong. Sorry, you failed. Actually,
Shit.
I'm gonna say that this was a good episode. Failed experiment. Let's try again next time. My thumb is still in the book. My thumb is still in the book. Go back. Go back. Go back.
Jeez. No. I saw the end on that page.
No, you're absolutely correct. I definitely enjoyed that song. That was a very good song. Just, I don't know if you're going to cut it out or not, who cares, but I did have to ask you to continue talking or wait a few more seconds for me to finish writing things down, because I didn't want to forget stuff I wanted to talk about, because notes are good when you have ADHD and you're going to forget everything you just heard.
It's very true. It's very true.
It saved me when you asked me about the band that we listened to, like, 2 weeks before our other recording. I was like, crap, what were my notes about that band again? Okay, right.
Yeah.
The first thing I noticed on the music video were that guy's cross glasses. What
Yes.
was up with those?
I don't know, man. It's you know how, like, if you work in a chain restaurant, they're like, "We allow you 1 piece of flair." That was that guy's flair.
He just chose to be like next level with his 1 piece of flair.
Yeah.
I loved it. I have a bunch of notes from all over the place, so I'm trying to pick out which ones I want to talk about first, so that I can make sense of how we were at with it. To circle back to what you said, it did feel very fast for 3 minutes, and that's because of just how good it is, I think. Because we've listened to shorter songs that, not that they sound like it's painful to listen to them because they lasted longer, but you feel like you heard more. You're like, oh wait, that was only a minute and a half. Wait, what? But versus, like, it has that same effect but in reverse, which we've done before when we had even longer songs, and it didn't feel like it was that long. But that did go quick. I felt like there was I felt like I could hear that whole song a second time right after the first time.
Yep.
Now that's a good way to get sick of something if you listen to it too fast too many times, but that makes me feel like, is this like, did you say which track this was off of it? Like, was it like second, third, fourth?
I'm not sure. Keep talking and I'll let you know.
All right, because I was gonna say, I'm wondering if it was like the start of the feel for the EP, or maybe it was sandwiched in between 2 songs, because it kind of has a feeling it could have started somewhere before it started in, because like we just heard the song start and we heard the song finish. Sometimes when you do when you do full albums, sometimes there'll be like a story, like Lemonade, for instance, by Beyonce. That was when you listen straight through. I can't remember the name, something Town by Neil Young, where he had that, he did a whole story about a small town, things like that. There's a couple other artists that I'm blanking on right now, but I'm sure you can be screaming them at me as I forget to tell them what they are, like you, the listener, I mean. I know, those one too. Yep, that was a good one. Oh, I can't believe I forgot that one.
Oh, man.
But yes, all of those are great examples. Thank you for helping us out. Maybe that was what that was, right? Maybe those 3 songs, or 4 songs rather, because the interlude was just more of like the melodic part you said. Maybe that was like not a story per se, but it could feel like all 4 songs were one big song.
So it's actually the first song on the EP. I
Interesting.
can't remember. I just had to look that up. Yeah.
So where did that like just musical part come in? What track was that?
It's actually the last track, I believe.
So it's kind of like a send-off, maybe. Who knows?
A denouement, yes.
Very interesting. I'm going to have to listen to it, because this was very good. Well done on the choice again. You keep picking songs, and I'm like, I feel like you keep picking songs just for me, and I don't care, because I enjoy it.
I mean, but you are part of the audience to me, Steven, so yeah.
Aw. It's like that Poe and, what was his name, Finn? Where it was like, hey bro, tell the world I'm your bro. And he leans in real close. He's like, you're my bro. He's like, bro, I said tell the world. You are my
Bro,
world,
you
bro.
are my world. Yeah.
You are the
Bro.
audience. But no, I do appreciate it because, yeah, like you definitely you found a new itch for me that I didn't know I had musically until I heard this song. And I'm excited to hear this and then also to hear what else might come from a continuation of listening to this. Like, what other bands is it going to suggest that are similar to that or feel like that? Because, like you said, it is hard to kind of compare it to something or tell you that it had a feel of anything. Because even one of the things that I wrote, I don't know if I want to go. I'll go back to this later. I'll go back to the other part. So the first part I want to say, it felt like a mashup.
In what way?
So not in it was beautiful, but in the sense that it felt like her singing and her singing style and her voice of what she was doing might have come from a different track. It could have come from a pop track. And then just because of the piano and the tippy tappy, like you were saying, the other parts like that felt like it was something else that was written without any words, kind of a thing, and like in a different genre. And then they were just put on top of each other because the time signatures worked really well together. But like, I need to make sure that I say right now, I'm not complaining about anything because I think it was amazing. I loved every part of that song. And I think like maybe because I don't have the exposure to anything that's in this genre, or even the fact that, like you said before, it's not really comparable to anything else, maybe that's just me not, but again, not at all a complaint.
Right.
It sounded like a whole like cohesive piece. But like it felt like it could have been two separate things put on top of each other almost like when we listened to Action Bronson and we were saying like he was rapping over luxurious beats, kind of like a thing where you don't necessarily expect to hear someone singing a song like She Just Was on a track like this, but it was perfect and it worked really well together. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Sorry, I was actually writing a note because I want to come back to that actually because I know you have more notes, but this will take us kind of down a tangent, so
Sure.
we'll return to it later. But
Sure.
I like it triggered something in my brain when you're like it sounded kind of like a mashup,
Gotcha.
which also, if you have listened to our past episodes, one of our first episodes was a mashup of course, Dance Gavin Dance and Paramore, aka Dance Haley Dance, which, you know, in that sense, it's interesting because I feel like that felt more, not cohesive, but except for like maybe an editing thing here or there, that sounded like it could have just been a straight up track without thinking it's a mashup.
True.
If you hadn't heard the first two songs beforehand.
True.
Whereas with this one, you're kind of like, it fits, but like you said, it almost feels like not divisive, but varying styles, because the music is in that style of that sort of mathy emo style, and the vocals are just straight up sugary pop, which you and I both love some straight up sugary pop, so it's not that is not a complaint at all.
Absolutely. You were absolutely correct. Like I'm here for that. One of the notes I actually wrote, so the other note that I was going to say I'll come back to, so great segue for me, was Haley Woodward. What else? Like what's her band? What's her other projects? What else does she do?
I can't remember. She is in another band. It's got a weird, it's like let me look it up because I did see it and then I forgot to put it down in my notes when I was putting the episode together.
No, all good, because what I was going to say was that I loved her voice and like just the power and the command, because it was not a typical pop song, but it had like the cadence of a pop song, and it kind of had like that, I don't know the better way to say what I'm trying to say, I can't think of it honestly, but like the lyrical content too, like the lyrical content, it would feel like it were a pop song, but if it were before it got like oversaturated to make it easier for everyone to understand and relate to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to shit on anybody here, because Taylor Swift is a fantastic musician, but a lot of the songs that people always complain about are the pop hits that are on the radio all sound the same, quote unquote. And that's because we've already talked about this a bunch in previous episodes, where there's that certain level of like easily digestible music that gets put on the grand internet and streaming services and radio and everything in the world to be consumed. That's what they're making the music for. They need to have the ability to make that easy to appeal music, and that usually takes the talent of writing a song that sounds, quote, not to sound mean, but generic enough that everyone can relate to it. You don't have to overthink what you're hearing because it sounds good and it gives you enough of like a direct punch. You don't have to like find the ingredients on the back of the label. They're right there in front of you, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's nice that we do have the ability to look at the lyrics while we're singing along and hearing what's happening, because there's a lot of really good lines in here, and there's a lot of stuff on here that's really nicely said, and I liked it. I liked a lot of the lyrical content, and that's where it kind of comes back to like the wordplay. It was just really well done, and that's why I really liked a lot of this too.
Yeah. Real quick, her other band is called Mukatite. I've never heard of them. Well, I've heard of them. I've never listened to them. But she's also done backing vocals for a bunch of other bands, one of which is Body Thief, who are, again, same thing, very much in that sort of like swancore genre. Like, she's done guest vocals for them. So I'm interested to hear her band and see if it is in that sort of vein or if it is more pop.
Would you be able to spell the band for me? Because I think I might have spelt it incorrectly, but I tried to go off it phonetically.
I would guess you probably did, because I wouldn't have spelled it right without seeing it. Mookatite. Mookatite.
I did GHT.
Oh, close.
I had everything else, but yeah, I had GHT for tight instead of TITE. Yeah.
Yeah. But
not bad. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I will definitely be checking it out just because. Yeah, I do want to hear more of her work.
We'll have to do another post-episode song reveal like we did when we listened to that song we did together last week or 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When we were like, oh, there's so much more.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a one-off EP. Remember, I was like, what are the chances you found like the two songs that are just the different ones, and like, oh, we did find the only two that sound like this.
Honestly, yeah, but like I did do that deep dive. Maybe not like a deep dive, but I did check out more 12-Foot Ninja after that episode, and they really are all over the place. So it is kind of wild that I picked those two songs out of the bunch, and I'm like, I wonder if they just sound like these two songs. No, man, I listened to that first EP. That is 6 songs, and it sounds like it could have been 6 different bands. So
I don't remember what ones I listened to, but I also went through and listened to them, and they are definitely all over the place. There are some like the more of like the hardcore, like rock metal-esque, like the deathcore-ish songs, if you will. And then there are other songs that don't sound anything like anything else. So yeah, that's like definitely one where I enjoyed listening to, seeing what they have, and I want to hear more.
Yeah, there was like heavy reggae in there. I was like, this is wild, man. They just do whatever, and it's great.
I mean, good for them, but also like how? I guess that's why before people did like this, where he has Tajanae and he has what was the other one again? I'm sorry, I didn't write it down.
Strawberry Girls and
Strawberry
Eternity
Girls
Forever. Yeah, and just like he has his own solo work. Yeah, there's a lot.
Man's got range.
Yeah.
But that's like the difference between maybe bands then with 12-Foot Ninja. Is 12-Foot Ninja older or newer? I can't remember.
Their first EP came out in like 2008.
Okay,
and they
so
disbanded in 2022. So
perfect. So there we go. That works out perfect where my thought process was going, where the 2008 era where social media was getting big, but it wasn't what it is today, where like you said yourself that Ben Rossett's pretty active on it. So like this is something where he can say, hey guys, here's a new project I'm doing, and like, oh shit, I love what this guy does, let's go see what he's doing now. And like his popular following will be able to go and populate all those different projects, versus 2008, 2006, 2000s, 90s, when You couldn't just keep making band names unless you were like a spin-off of the Rolling Stones or the Beatles or like something that everybody knew, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And before we go too far, I love the fact that I'm writing down those notes as you were kind of talking about other things and your first thoughts while I prepared my notes, which I greatly appreciate. But one of the things that I was writing, as you were saying that you couldn't find anything that you can really compare them to. And I agree. I couldn't find anything as a whole that you can compare them to. But one of the notes I wrote about Hayley Woodward in this song was that her singing presence and style felt No Doubt-esque. So like Gwen Stefani in No Doubt, and like the voice cadence and maybe somewhat in tone even. And I was kind of curious what you thought.
No, yeah, I could definitely see that. I do like how you specified Gwen Stefani in No Doubt and not just Gwen Stefani, given that her solo work is, well, it's pretty bananas, let's be honest.
Bananas.
Yeah, but
We just copyright infringement.
Because I was a big No Doubt fan back in the day. I have to say, like, I haven't really listened to them as much recently, but that is definitely something I would wonder if that's an influence then, because that is something that I can hear the comparison.
Right, and that's just it. I'm curious if it was for this project or for this maybe, and that's why I need to hear Mukatite, because I need to know what that sounds like in its completion, because is this that style? Because then that would kind of be even funnier to say that it sounds like a mashup if this is her singing style for Mukatite and this is his playing style for what he's doing.
Right, yeah.
Did you by chance see if they had a like a general genre that they gave when you found the band name for her, for Mukatite, or no?
Let me take a look.
Okay.
Let's see.
Because if it says math rock, I'm going to flip the table.
Mukatite. 5-piece experimental neo-soul. For fans of Hiatus Coyote, Wolfpack, and Moonchild, holy shit, I need to listen to this. Because, like...
I gotta say, my favorite new thing about this podcast is that we keep finding out random other things that are definitely made for us and we don't understand how.
Dude, I love Wolfpack and I love Moonchild. So 33 monthly listeners, I'm following now. Have 34.
I'm very excited to hear this. We're gonna have to listen to this after together, okay? Just so
Yeah.
you know, because I want to listen anyway. So
I am super interested because now, like, knowing what her voice sounds like and knowing that it's experimental neo soul. God, I sound like such a fucking hipster. But yes.
it's
Yeah.
okay. It's actually absolutely hilarious. Another one of my notes. I mean, I think it's hilarious. You can tell me if it lines up or if I'm just reaching here. But I wrote, melody felt very synth, space, airy, and was very beautiful. Is that somewhat accurate for the rest of the genre that you're talking about with the other three bands?
I'm sorry, my brain kind of shut off. I'm gonna need you to repeat yourself.
Oh, no worries. I wrote one of the notes I have here, and so you said that the genre was what again? I'm sorry.
Experimental neo soul.
Yes. So the experimental neo soul. I was wondering. One of the notes I wrote here was melody felt very synth, space, airy, and was very beautiful. Is that a characteristic of neo soul?
Yes. Specifically for Moonchild, which is funny because I was also thinking about bringing a Moonchild song to the podcast. So,
man, I think it's awesome that we're just kind of making this kind of happen. It almost feels like we know what we're doing and we didn't even realize it.
It's kismet.
I'm going to pat myself on the back. You should pat yourself on the back too, because I can't be there to do it for you. But yeah, this is like a full circle moment. It feels right.
Well, yeah.
Some other things. I think the piano solo area, whatever that part was in the song, that was dope. Like, I loved just that sound and like the melody that was going on with that. I thought that was great. I thought it felt good. I thought it was just, I didn't expect it. Because I don't know what I thought I'd hear in math rock, but I didn't know what to hear either, because that's one of those things where, like, I don't know those kind of things. And that's where maybe I get myself into trouble when I say things like, what I consider hardcore versus not, and metal and whatever, because maybe I don't know and it's just my interpretation of what I think it is.
Yeah, just sometimes, and especially now, and with stuff like this, it sometimes becomes increasingly hard to nail down genre,
Right.
like to put a specific name to something. If they hadn't come up with their own quote unquote genre, I consider it a genre. But like, what would you call Dance Gavin Dance, if not Swancore?
I don't know. I think
Because there's post-hardcore elements, there's metalcore elements, there's funk elements, there's a lot of pop due to whoever their clean vocalist is at the
right.
time.
But I
You
mean,
know, if
post
you've
metal pop
got,
punk.
yeah, because if you've got Kurt or Johnny, they have that very soulful delivery, whereas Tilly and now Andrew have more of a pop delivery. But at the
I
same
think that's what I'd
time,
call it. Post
yeah,
metal pop punk.
I would add probably progressive in front of that too.
Progressive post metal pop rock.
Yeah,
Post metal pop progressive rock.
yeah. But that's the thing. You heard me when I was talking about this kind of math rock pop,
Right.
and like that works, I
It does.
guess.
It does. No, you're right. It
You
does.
know. And again, we've said a couple times, it is so unique that that's what makes it harder to nail a genre onto it.
It does. It's like one of those things where it's like, if you were like just like the predicament we're in right now, and we talked about it in active, like, hey man, I heard this song that you posted. What else do you have like it? Unfortunately, nothing.
Yeah, it's
Like, good
tough.
luck
I'm
to you
like,
making a playlist for this. I mean, maybe you'll get lucky now that we know about Mukatite and potentially some other ones, but
I
regardless.
I feel like, despite it being the same singer, I don't think it's gonna sound much like this, going off the genre tags. Which I don't have a problem with that. I
No,
want
no,
to hear it
fair.
anyways, but like I don't know that it is going to sound stylistically similar to this beyond her voice.
Yeah. That's definitely something I'm looking forward to finding out together.
Yeah. That is something that I always find kind of cool when, okay, this is not a great example for me, but it is an example and it's topical just because we spoke about Gwen Stefani. I don't care for Gwen Stefani's solo work. Not at all. I love No Doubt. Her solo work does nothing for me. But take Daryl Palumbo from Glassjaw. If you listen to Glassjaw and then you listen to Head Automatica, totally different. Same
Yeah.
singer, but Glassjaw was like, they say their genre is specifically New York hardcore. And then
Right.
you listen to Head Automatica and it's dance pop.
Yeah.
And then their newest album had maybe some more industrial elements to it. But again, one of my favorite things, I've seen Glassjaw twice and Head Automatica once live. But my best friend, Megan, said she's seen Head Automatica a couple times, and she's like, it's funny because you can tell when Daryl is getting ready to get back into Glassjaw because he'll sing the Head Automatica song so much more aggressively, and he'll start screaming. And that's not how those songs are usually sung, but that's when
Right.
he's getting ready to go back to Glassjaw.
He's warming up them pipes.
Yeah.
That's really cool, though. That's cool to know from, dare I say, super fan? Is that okay to say?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I definitely, like, it's cool knowing, like, a super fan's perspective on that they would be able to pick up on, like, those nuances. And that's cool. That's cool to know, like, someone knows that they see that and they can hear it, and then knowing that that's something to like look for if I were ever to go see them live. Be like, oh, okay, cool. And like maybe I would like that version a little bit more, which would make me sad that they don't exist normally.
Yeah.
And before I forget, there were two more things about the music video. I really liked the way that they were doing the shots that they did. And I would assume that they did it that way because you said it's a smaller project. This is only like a 4-song EP. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do go all out for music videos. I don't really know because I don't watch enough of them actually.
I think this is the only music video they made, so.
I like the way that they did the close-up singular shots, kind of giving each person a highlight. I don't know if that was stylistically done because of wanting to just make a cool video really quickly, or because of the person that was in charge of the production of it. So either way, I like it. I thought it was really cool giving the solo shots to Haley when she was singing, and then you mentioned you didn't know which one was the drummer or the bassist, but like showing them doing what they were playing and stuff like that. I got to appreciate the way the hardware was on their kit, because I thought that was really cool with like the ombre, right?
Yeah,
Or ombre,
yeah.
ombre, is that what it's called? Because it goes from dark to bright.
I I'm the wrong
Whatever.
person to
It looked
ask.
really cool because the middle was really dark and the outside was kind of like golden. So it almost looked like
Yes.
it was like the outside had wear to it from being used for so long, but it was just like also very radial. So who knows? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But that was really neat, kind of seeing that and being able to see them switching between the different the different sticks. And then I don't know what it's called when it has like the brush. Is it just brushes?
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, you can see them going from like the brushes to the sticks to get the different sounds and kind of really using the whole kit to what it's used for, and then seeing them play on the keyboard where they're doing the piano and then him playing on the guitar and everything. It was really cool. I love the close-ups, seeing him just like plucking here and there and stuff. That was really cool.
yeah. I think this is sometimes a word that people don't like hearing, but it was kind of an intimately shot music video. It's
Yes.
like a lot of close-ups, and it really just kind of gave you the feeling that like you're there with them as they're just kind of jamming out, which is, I always appreciate that sort of thing too.
Thank you for reminding me or picking the word for me that I couldn't figure out, because that was the one I was looking for that whole time. Thank you. Because that was it was intimate, and I agree. It felt like you were a part of it, and that was really cool. It felt like you were a part of the process, like you said. That's great.
I'm a word guy sometimes.
Almost like you wrote songs or something.
Oof, let's not give any false imagery out there.
Compliments are due where they are received. Something like that. However you word it. Anywho, did you get over? I remember that you wrote a note because I was at
Oh,
the
so you and man, there's like all kinds of unintentional callbacks going on in this episode that we weren't planning on. So you mentioned a while back how you're like it kind of feels like a mashup when we mention mashups about stuff that feel like they sync up perfectly without realizing it or thinking that they would. Like obviously this is not a mashup. It's so stylistically different that it feels like it could have been. Whereas the whole like the Dance Haley Dance thing is like, it's swan core and pop punk. Like they're gonna fit together pretty well. But interestingly, so Jack Stratton from Wolfpack, and that's the other callback that I wasn't planning on. It was going to be a callback, but we have mentioned Wolfpack this episode. He used to do mashups on the Wolf YouTube channel, and they were really interesting because he would take an instructional drum video from say like 1980 and then put in a solo by Corey Henry from like 2010 and just lay the solo down over the instructional drum video and it would fit perfectly. And the reason he did it is just that it would show the impeccable timing that musicians have. He would be like, oh, this is the same tempo. So if it's the same tempo, it should mash up perfectly. And it does. There's no doctoring. It's literally just like a video side by side with another video.
That's really awesome to be able to showcase other musicians' talents while also showcasing just your knowledge of music.
Yeah, because Jack Stratton is an amazing musician, but he'll pick Bernard Purdy, who is a drum pioneer, and be like, yeah, let me put over this gospel track over this drum track and it matches up perfectly. Or it was like a Herbie Hancock video put over a Bernard Purdy drum video and they just mash up perfectly
That's awesome.
because they're such good musicians that they have that innate sense of timing that they're playing impeccably so that it sounds like they're playing together when really these things were recorded literal decades apart.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that would
So
be a great. I'm glad that what I was trying to describe earlier wasn't just complete hot mess garbage, that it made you think of something else. Because there's times when you're saying words when it's just going on. You're like, did I sound good when I said that, or did I sound like an idiot when I said that?
Am I just vomiting words?
Right. Am I just filling the air with nonsense, or like, did I make a point back then?
Yeah.
So clearly, my point was received by at least one other person, and that makes me feel somewhat
Hey!
better.
There it is.
But yeah, it's actually hilarious that, again, the fact that we went on a tangent about Mugatite to talk about Wolf. I'm sorry,
Wolfpack.
Wolfpack. I was gonna say so many other things. I was gonna say Wolf Knight. Wolf. No, that's not it. Wolfpack. I won't forget now. Mugatite related to Wolfpack, and then Wolfpack made you, or because it made you think of how. Yeah, exactly. Words. Ouch. You got the point. I don't need to keep going on
Yes.
here. I love a good motif.
Layers upon layers. Like
It's almost like we know what we're doing here.
Or an onion or an ogre.
Exactly. Wow,
But,
because you smell bad?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna make the playlist for this, obviously, and it's gonna contain the rest of the tracks from this EP because it's all they have. Again, I really hope that they have another EP or more music at some point because it's really good and I want more.
Yeah, for real. Like, I agree with you completely, and this was only my first listen, and I know that I want to hear it like 27 more times.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to play it tomorrow morning for my kid on my way to school, because I think he would like it, and I think I'm going to give him the same complex that we both have now, too.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. I'll report back.
Yeah. I'll want to hear the this was unintentional, but I was gonna say the feedback, and I was like, ha ha, shit.
Oh, man.
It's like the word of the day and the goose balls from the ceiling. Ah!
Oh, that would have been great, actually.
Because that wasn't intentional. I was just gonna say it, and I was like, wait a second.
If I just said it, it would have sounded staged. I couldn't. I could never.
Wait a damn minute.
Man, sometimes things just work. Today's one of those
Sure.
days.
Yeah.
I have to say, I don't have any other notes, because I don't think we can do anything better than what we just did there today.
No, we went a lot of places, but it felt more cohesive than usual. Where
Our
it was like,
ADHD is sinking.
it was like, this is connected to this, and this is connected to this, and this came up, and I was going to bring it up, but it somehow came up before I was going to bring it up. Ah,
You and I are both Charlie Day pointing at the map with all like the strings all over the place.
yeah. And now we're like, what do now?
You and I are both that meme right now.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, if you agree, and I feel like we are at the same point right now and talking about memes, we're going to go to social media, and you're going to hopefully listen to this pre-recorded message asking you to find us there. That's right, because important long-winded information and ADHD don't mix. But I hope if you've made it to this point, you like what Scoops and I are doing, and hopefully you like it so much you want to shout it from the top of a mountain. But it would be a whole lot more helpful if you told your friends about us instead. Word of mouth or listening with someone is our favorite, but social media is also great, and you can interact with us there too. So please come by our Instagram, Blue Sky, or Facebook, where you can find us as The Feedback, or on Twitter, formerly known as Twitter /X, at @thefeedback_PC, to see what's coming next, suggest a song, talk about our latest episode, or just talk about anything.
And now that you've gone and done all the social media things, post at Ben Rossett and ask what the next Tajanae music is coming out. Maybe we can get a little push going.
Yeah, if we can get like a small uprising, like a small cult following, right?
Yeah.
A small militia.
Yeah, we'll pull a coup. I don't know. Sure.
But
Go to that, and also please be sure to go check out Exile, who does our intro and outro music. The track is called Egg. It is the same track, intro and outro. Some interesting EDM with some woodwind instruments, flute and saxophone. Always, I like when, people do something a little more unique, as is evidenced by today's episode. So make sure to go check out Exile as well. And I think that's gonna do it, right?
Yep, I would agree.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. We appreciate you. And join us next week for whatever we dig up next. Goodbye.
I don't know. Maybe it does feel. Maybe it's just mental for me too. I feel like maybe it did do something.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Softens them a wee bit.
I do know that my pop filter is like a piece of metal, so I don't know how well that actually works. I thought they were supposed to be like those like soft cloth ones.
Felt? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this sort of like felt material. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. This is just like a mesh screen with tiny holes in it that are smaller than the holes on the microphone. So like maybe it gets rid of like the initial harshness, like you said, and then it gets like the softer around the microphone tones. I don't know.
It's all psychological.
It's just
I
one
don't
big
think that's
fucking
true.
trip, man.
Yeah. Big microphone is trying to take our money.
Oh man, I was taking a quick drink to make sure I was properly lubricated for the job.
That's a way of putting it.
As I thought about it, I'm like, there's definitely way better ways to say this, but I'm already committed, so...
Yeah. Okay. So, real quick before we get started, just a quick, okay, I don't hate mayonnaise, right? First of all, it's not an instrument. But second,
Are you sure?
there's something about it that if there's too much mayonnaise on something, it grosses me out. That's why I don't like Burger King. And second, or third at this point, I think, I thought about it, and it's really just food lubrication. It's really just there to put on food to make it slide down your gullet easier.
Aren't all
really all it
sauces
is.
just food lubrication then?
Yeah, but mayonnaise is just eggs and oil. There's not much
You're not
to
wrong
it.
about that. It's definitely the most, it's fatty. It's a fat, or it's like a oil-based lubricant, yeah. I mean...
Yeah.
So you're not wrong. It really
It's
is at its base level.
Yeah, it's there to just help you slide food down your throat.
Yeah, but nobody's excited about food lube.
Well, yeah, 'cause think about a sandwich, right? If there's no mayonnaise on your sandwich, you're like, this is dry. I'm gonna add some mayonnaise. Why?
Yeah.
Because if it's too dry, it's gonna get stuck in your throat. So you lube it up so you can slide it down your throat easier.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah, I have weird food opinions, and that's one of them.
Can we please stop calling mayonnaise food lube?
No, man, I call it. I work in a kitchen, and that's what I call it.
Yeah, but now I'm never going to be able to eat even a chicken the same ever again.
Oh, very true. There is a single decoration on my locker at work, and it's a sticker of a McChicken that says, "For me, it is the McChicken, the best fast food sandwich." That's it.
Is that the one I sent you?
Uh-huh.
Is it really?
Yep, it's the only thing on my locker at work.
I'm so honored.
Everyone else has pictures of their kids or their pets, and I'm just like, nah, man. McChicken.
Nah, for me it's the McChicken.
I got confirmation from Ben Rosson himself that is how it's pronounced, because I actually, when this came out, when I was doing YouTube and I did this song, and he actually was like, hey, he posted, he was like, hey, someone did a review of our song. So
Nice.
little flex there.